Welcome to Sound and Communications Viewpoint. I am Maltese of Audiovisual Resources, and I'm here with John Lopinto of Communications Specialties. The topic for this episode is standards. Strikes fear in the hearts of many people in our industry. There are many types of standards. Standard specifications, which get involved with hardware and interfaces, standard test methods, standard procedures, standard guides, standard definitions. Let's take the first one, standard specifications. And I'm going around on a limb here, but John, you're a manufacturer.
Yes.
I got a feeling you might have a thing to say about standard specifications.
Just a few. Thank you. Thank you, Mario, for having me here today. We'd like to, manufacturers like to play by ground rules, if you will. And in our industry, that comes down to standards. And mainly interface standards, how the box itself interfaces to other boxes within a system. The products that we manufacture are typically only one part of an overall system in the AV environment. It's important that, for the point of view of the end user, that the interface standards and specifications are fully understood, that they be documented in the manufacturer's specification sheets, and that they conform to wherever possible to industry standards as they may be defined.
Yeah, it's certainly a lot has to do with how much time we spend on a project. Is from the integrator's perspective. Unless there's some kind of an agreement as far as what the interfaces are, I just have to reinvent the wheel every time.
Yeah.
Some people argue that, this is the AV industry. Why can't we use standards from SMPTE or AES or some of the other standards manufacturers? AV really does not publish standards in themselves. What do you think about that?
Well, it's unfortunate, and if there's one industry that can use standards and recommended practices to be clearly defined and promoted within the industry, it's the AV industry. We use equipment from a wide range of manufacturers from all over the world. Whether they be projectors all the way down to simple distribution amplifiers, cable connectors, and there's an astounding lack of standards, and I also might say a lack of leadership on the part of the industry leaders at all different levels to want to promote and develop a set of standards. And it's not a question of necessarily developing new standards. A lot of work has been done, as you mentioned, by SMPTE, AES, IEEE, many different organizations in the U.S. and around the world. All we need to do as an industry is come together and decide upon which standards, whether they be electrical or mechanical, to use for all these different pieces of equipment, so that there can be interoperability between different manufacturers' equipment throughout the industry.
Yeah, I don't know where we'd be now without the ANSI lumen specifications when we choose projectors. There are other cases that we came up with, and one of the things that I get very emotionally involved with is commissioning tests. We use standards for like an audio amplifier, signal to noise, total harmonic distortion. Well, yes, there are standards for that, but the signal to noise is taken at the signal level at the rated clipping level.
Yeah.
Something that's in an AV system is not the case. The AV, I've always said that when you take a lot of different manufacturers from good stuff and put it all together in the system, it could really sound like crap unless we know what we're doing. So the same problem that hit George Lucas when he came up with the THX standard. He put a lot of artistry in filmmaking, and he found that when he went in the venues that he was displaying, and he saw that there were no standards as far as what you're setting the loudness levels and this type of thing. He had to create his own standard, and I think our industry really feels that. The other thing, if I could, the customers are seeing the quality is in question. When I see a major corporation hiring third-party testing and verification in order to get their systems to a quality that they have confidence in with consistency, then you say something's wrong. We're not really addressing the quality to the customer, the one who's actually paying all our bills, which is the user of AV. We're not focusing on them. We need these standards. And certainly Infocom took a turn. They started to actually do this and made a conscious decision to move away from an association that did not get involved with standards to actually recognize the fact that the customers are not being serviced properly, and that's what's going to hurt us. As far as the manufacturing end, do you, as far as procedures within your company, do you see standard practices being of any use to you?
Oh, absolutely. And the first thing that we do is we make sure that how we specify our equipment is as comprehensive as possible under all different conditions. When I first started in the industry, I was on the system integration side for a major broadcast network. And
thank you for bowing when you said that.
It's okay. And my boss at the time, I had just broken into the industry, he told me, he said, remember one thing, there are 3 great liars in the world. Liars, damn liars, and those who write data sheets. And it's very true that a data sheet is primarily a marketing tool, and you can write it any way you want in order to bring out certain specifications. And a lot of times a certain spec may be met, but only at room temperature. Or it may be operational over a wide temperature range, but not all the specifications are met. And so when we develop a piece of equipment, we make sure that all of the specifications are met under all conditions. And that's not easy to discern from data sheets of various manufacturers.
Sure.
And at the end of the day, it helps us as a manufacturer because it gives the customer the confidence that he's going to have a piece of equipment that will work under a whole wide range of real-world conditions.
John,
and it's very important.
I think that is very important. And in fact, what is also very important is that we got to take a break now for our sponsors, and we'll come back after the break.